guys, kia ora, whakalofa lahi atu, and no mai hoki mai. Welcome back to this week's podcast episode. As always, I am so grateful that you are here. Thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first podcast episode of you being here, firstly, welcome. And then also, this is such a fucking goodie. I am so excited that you are here because this week we are talking about comparing your now body to your previous body, right? To your high school body, to your pre-baby body, to your body 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even last year's body, right? And I'm going to be so real. This is something I used to do a lot when I was stuck in that self-hatred, dieting, trying to lose weight, trying to restrict myself, punishing myself in the gym. That was where I was at, right? I was always trying to get back to my high school body. Actually, it was 2 years out of high school, and I had the picture. It was a gym selfie that I had took. My tummy was so flat, my boobs looked good, and I was so slim, thin, and sucking in and all the things. And that was a picture that I had on my vision board for years. And I was like, I need to get back to that weight. I need to get back to that weight, right? And I was just, always on the vision board. So if you have something currently where you look at a photo and you're like, yep, I want to get back to that size. Or before you had a baby, you're like, yep, I want to get back to that size. I want to get my pre-baby body back, right? I want to bounce back. This podcast is going to help you so much because that is just such that narrative doesn't help you, right? Trying to get back to something that you were. It's like, be present in who you are right now. And society tells you a lot of times, I know with pregnancy, it's like, you've got to bounce back. You know, there's celebrities, she bounced back in only 2 weeks or whatever. And it's like, how fast can you bounce back and look like you didn't have a baby? It's like, what? Why would you want to look like you didn't have a baby? You just fucking created a fucking amazing child. You just fucking birthed a child, you know? And then you just want to erase all the evidence that you have this child in the world. It's like, no, the last thing you should be worrying about is trying to lose weight and get your pre-baby body back after you've just had a child. You've just fucking birthed a child. Like, do you get what you've just done, right? It doesn't make sense. And, it's these narratives that society tells you, right? That you've got to bounce back, that you've got to look slim, that you've got to be thin, that you can't have a pudge or you can't have stretch marks or you can't have, it all goes back into that your smaller body is a better body, that your younger looking body, the body that isn't aging, the body that doesn't have wrinkles. Because if you actually think about it, it's like your now body, all the things that she's been through to get here. For me personally, it's like all the things I've learned, all the things I've overcome, all the experiences I had. I would rather have this and be 30 kgs bigger, 40 kgs bigger, but have all this knowledge and this knowing and overcome so much and loving myself and being confident and being a kind person and learning so much about myself and loving myself. Like, I would much rather have that, right, than trying to look a certain way. And actually, at the end of the day, your looks are probably the most uninteresting thing about you. Right? I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out there, right? It's so uninteresting, but it's like the main focus. You have to look a certain way. It's like, no, fuck that. Like, no more diving into or no more subscribing to the way that we're programmed and conditioned and what society tells you should look like and all these things. It's like, no, I'm no longer subscribing to that shit. Actually, no, I don't want to look like my high school self because my high school self, she was a young girl, she hadn't been through life. She was just learning how to navigate the world. And actually back when I took that gym photo that I was telling you about, that was on my vision board for years, that I want to get back to that size, I was fucking miserable. All I did was obsess about my weight. I was always weighing myself. I'd weigh myself before a meal, after meal. Every time I got to the gym, I'd take my shoes off. I'd put my shoes back on. I'd take different layers of clothing off. I'd go naked, just trying to get this weight down. I would starve myself. I was eating fucking boiled chicken, bland as shit, and veggies, and I was always hungry. I hated what I saw in the mirror. I hated that photo. I actually hated that photo. I never posted it online. And then when I did post it online, it was just like a whatever. It was on Facebook and I just added it to an album. And so many people commented, oh my gosh, you look good. Oh my. And it wasn't until I got that external validation that I was like, actually, maybe I do look good. Maybe my boobs do look nice and my nice flat stomach looks amazing. My tummy was so flat. And I remember taking that photo and thinking, oh, I need to lose more weight. Oh, this isn't good enough, right? I would go to the gym before work. I would go to the gym after work. I would live at the gym. It was no way to live. I was miserable. I was terrible, right? So it's like, I'd much rather have the life I have now where I actually enjoy my life, where I'm actually present, when I have great connections, where I have a great connection with myself. I love myself. I'm confident, right? That I do things. I have fun. I go roller skating. I spend time with myself. Do all the things that I love. I actually live. I'm actually living and not being in this rat race of a cycle trying to diet and lose weight and go around. And it's like, your body is going to change. There's actual science that shows that your body changes over time, no matter what you do, right? You age, you gain weight, you go through experiences in life. You're not going to be the same weight forever. You're not going to look like how you look like in high school forever. And people are like, oh my gosh, you haven't aged a year. Oh my gosh, you look the same as you did in high school. Like it's like some compliment. It's like, no, you should age and enjoy the fucking moments of aging. Because what does it mean? It means that you're living your life. You're working through life. These are the way you look at different stages of your life. How beautiful. How beautiful that you can see the difference between 18-year-old you and 28-year-old you. And actually, I thought for a long time I couldn't see the difference. And now when I look back at photos when I was younger, I'm like, holy shit, I look so different. Back then my skin was really smooth. My cheeks were like a certain way. It was just like, I love looking at those photos because I'm like, damn, that's what I look like then. And I also love what I look like now because I do have wrinkles and I've got crow's nest and I've got my droopy eyelids and my face. It's funny to see how much your face, even my teeth are different to when I was younger, like just slight different changes. But it's so beautiful. It's like aging gracefully. Right? It's so fucking beautiful to see. And it's like, why would you want to undo time and go back to when you were 18, when you were much younger, when you were 10 years ago? No, enjoy now. Be present now. Enjoy this moment. And I also want to say, like, do you ever look at photos and you're like, oh, damn, I thought I looked ugly back then. I thought I was fat as fuck back then. I hated what I looked like. And when I say fat as fuck, I say it like as if it's a bad thing, but we know that fat is not a bad thing. It's just a describing word, right? But you look back at it and you're like, damn, I thought I was really fat and ugly back then, but I actually looked fucking good. And then now you're looking at photos of yourself and you're like, oh, I hate what I look like. You're picking out all these things. And it's like, in 10 years' time, are you going to look back at how you look now and do the same thing and be like, oh, I thought I was fat and ugly and worthless and all the things. And I want to go back to that size or whatever. Like, just enjoy life now and don't even worry about the way that you look, right? Like I said, it's the least interesting thing about you. Worry about the way that you are in the world. Worry about the way you feel every day. Are you lit up? Are you on fire? Do you speak up for things that you care about? Do you do you have values? Do you stand by those values? Do you laugh every day? Do you have fun every day? Do you love waking up every day? Do you love your life? Right? These are the things that you should worry about. Who cares about what you look like? Worry about how you feel every day. And I'm starting to wrap up now, but I just want to say, when you die, nobody's going to talk about, oh my gosh, she had abs. Yeah, she was so amazing. She had abs and she had flawless skin and she was like, her tummy was so tight and her butt was so good and all that. No, they're going to talk about your energy and your kindness and how you impacted them and the moments and the memories that they had with you and your smile that lights up the room and your funny humor and that you're a vibey person and that you went for your goals and dreams and you didn't let people hold you back and you stood up for what was right and all these things, right? They're not going to be worrying about your weight, and you shouldn't worry about your weight either. So I want to leave you with a few things that you can do right now that'll help you with this, just a couple of steps. So the first thing, if there is a photo that you look at, that you obsess over, that you really want to be looking like again, I want you to actually be real with yourself and how did you actually feel at that time? Because if it was anything like me, yeah, I wanted to look that way. I wanted to have the flat stomach. I wanted to have the flat stomach was basically the thing and be freaking 40 kgs smaller, but I was actually not happy. So do you actually want to look like that? Because there's a sacrifice there, right? If you want to look that way, you have to change your lifestyle to be that way. And what does that mean? You have to do all these things. And do you want a lifestyle like that? Or do you want to live a life where you're actually happy? Where you actually live in the present moment, when you actually love yourself as you are, no matter what size you are, you love yourself. Whether you're freaking 40 kgs lighter, 30 kgs lighter, or now, loving yourself regardless. So look at those photos, be real with yourself. How did you actually feel at that time? And choose. Like, do you want that lifestyle? Because if you do, go back to that lifestyle, sure, go. But I do not want to go back to fucking eating boiled chicken and gymming twice a day and hating my life and being obsessed and always looking in the mirror and still hating what I look like and getting on the scales all the time. And that was all I was obsessed over, and writing my weight and so many notes about my weight. And when I would eat something and put on a certain amount of grams of kgs or whatever, like how fucking, no, I don't want to do that. So that's the first thing I want you to do. The second thing I want you to do is shift from the way you look, worrying about the way you look, to tuning into the way you feel. If you didn't worry about looks, how do you actually want to feel? And then go with that. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is like unfollow, don't subscribe to those narratives. Stop saying you want to bounce back into your pre-baby body. All those things, like start unsubscribing to that shit. Unsubscribe to the people, or unfollow the people who always talk about weight and getting back to the pre-baby body, or getting back to what they looked like 10, 15 years ago. All the stuff that tells you that you need to lose weight and you need to look a certain way and you need to bounce back and go back to that size and all the things. Unsubscribe from that shit. No longer subscribe to that. Like, moving forward, it's like you're no longer going to say stuff like that. You're going to take that photo down. Next time you look at that photo, you're going to enjoy that photo for what it is. It's a photo of what you looked like in the past and how amazing that you have those memories. But it's not obsessing over trying to get back to that, right? That's all that it is. Right? And just fucking enjoy your life. Know that you are worthy regardless of what you weigh, of the way that you look, right? Your worthiness is your birthright, right? There's no conditions to it. You are worthy regardless. So when you're trying to look at, or you're trying to be this pre-baby body, this high school body, this what you looked like 5 years ago body, this what you looked like 10 years ago body, it's like, what are you making it mean? What's the real reason why you want to get back to that? Is it because society's telling you a certain way? Is it because maybe your mom, your auntie, your cousin, or whatever told you look better when you were that size or whatever? Is it because you are subscribing to these narratives that tell you that you are worthless if you are big? The fat phobia, the internalized fat phobia. It's like, no, be so fucking present in your time now. Because although, like, I feel like there's two sides, right? So you have your whole life ahead of you, but also you don't know what's going to happen in the next couple days, in the next couple years, right? It's like life is not guaranteed, and I hope you have your whole fucking life in front of you. And yeah, I actually do like hope that, and same for me, right? But it's like, even if these were my last days on earth, how do I want to spend them? Obsessing with the way that I look, or actually enjoying life? Actually fucking having fun and living out my wildest dreams in the world. So I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I love you. Ka kite. Koe kia.